Hello and welcome to my channel Grilledincolors. So today we are going to do a box. Again I'm going to use a lot of mixed media and decoupage techniques, and I'm going to use a paper mache box. So this is just a simple paper box which I got from market. I have two sizes, one is big and one is small. I'll work on the smaller one. So you can do this same technique on any kind of box. You can recycle any waste box or a glass box or a plastic box. So as usual we do the priming first on any surface. Here I'm using the chalk paint. So when we are using the chalk paint, we don't actually need to prime it with gesso. If you want, you can do it for a better, if you're using some other color which you feel that might not be, like brown is a dark surface, so light colors sometimes don't come properly. But in this case this color also is almost like white. It's very light blue shade, so I'm going to use it as it is on the box. So I'm just going to cover the entire surface using the chalk paint with the sponge. So I'm using sponge because I like to get that texture surface. If you want, you can use with the brush also. So here, just to reduce the time, I have completed this and it is dried up now. So we'll go to the next step, and this is a butterfly which I have stamped on a tissue paper. You can take any printed tissue paper like this one. So I'll be taking some designs from this tissue paper, but the one which I'm going to use as a focal point is the stamped one on a simple light tissue paper. So I'm going to use Mod Podge and paste it. So this is on the top, so this is like a focal point for me, and around the box I'll be using the cutouts which I have kept separately from the tissue which I showed you, to give the design on the sides of the box. And with decoupage, if you're not comfortable using the brush, you can use the tissue paper, the plastic sheet, to even out the wrinkles. Use it. I think if you have seen other videos of mine, you'll know how to do decoupage, what is the right way to do the decoupage technique. This is just a small pieces, so I'm comfortable using it with brush. I'm just pasting it. You just have to take care that you don't have too many wrinkles while you're pasting the tissue paper. So I'm using some random bits and pieces of tissue and pasting it on the sides. Then I'll be blending it using the colors and giving it a design. So see, basically this kind of project you can do on any kind of surface. It is basically to teach you different techniques which you can do on any surface to transform it or recycle it and reuse it to make it beautiful. You can use it for storing anything, any jewelries or any embellishments. If you are a crafter, you'll have a lot of things to keep, small things. So you can use all these kind of boxes and recycle it, and in the meanwhile practice all the techniques, all the different forms of art. You can also use it for gifting. You can keep, like right now Rakhi is around, so you can keep some chocolates inside or some other gifts and use it to gift your loved ones, and I'm sure they'll treasure it because it's completely handmade. So people who value handmade items, I'm sure they will love getting things which are customized or made personally by you. And don't forget to comment and let me know how you felt about this, and if you tried different techniques, what kind of issues you face, so that I can cover those in my next videos and guide you if at all you need help anywhere. And guys, I'm so sorry, sometimes the work, when I'm doing the painting or something, I'm going off camera a little. That's because of the distance, I guess. When I'm doing painting, sometimes I like to bring it closer to me, and in the meanwhile I forget that I'm getting off the camera. So just please ignore and try to focus and let me know if it is happening too much, so that I can do something about it. But I hope you get the technique. So I'm just taking 2-3 random shades, some shades from the tissues, the color tissue which I have used on the sides. So I've chosen orange, I've chosen teal blue and white, and a little bit of red here and there. So I'll be doing stenciling. I have done decoupage on this, and I'll be doing a little bit of distressing here and there. So that's about it. I am just taking out all the colors using a sponge to dab the colors here and then randomly, and then blend it. Yeah, so I'll be blending it using the sponge only. I'm not using brush at all here. I'll be using brush only for the distressing and maybe stenciling. That stencil brush is different, I'll tell you about that. Maybe you can just see, that it is a round thick brush with the very hard bristles or the feathers. So yeah, I realized that I'm going off camera, so I'm just trying to bring it closer to you so you can see. So there is no trick behind this, only the fact that unless you are satisfied, just try to keep in mind that you should not be covering the print, that is the butterfly in my case. I'm just trying to avoid getting until the print. I'm just trying to cover the edges of the tissue which I have used, the butterfly tissue. So I'm using 2-3 colors here. I'm using teal blue, white, and I'm using orange. So I'm kind of blending it all and leaving white here and there wherever it is not required, so that the print is the focal point and it is visible. It should not look very cluttered also. Similarly on the sides also, I'm just covering it with different color shades. I hope you understand, because I'm going off camera again a little, but I'm just so you have to apply a little pressure while doing the dabbing, because the color tends to go inside the sponge, and it, as a sponge absorbs the color, so sometimes you have to apply a little pressure. But because this is a paper mache box, so I don't want to apply too much pressure, unless otherwise it might twist the shape of the box. So just be very careful about it. Also you have to be careful about not using water at all, because if you're using a paper mache box like me, it might absorb the water and it will distort the shape of the box, or it might get damaged also. So you have to use minimum water in your projects of this kind, especially decoupage or blending with sponge, or this kind of project doesn't require water at all. You can directly use acrylic colors. Acrylic color is fluid enough to work on the surface. So I'm using 2-3 colors here. I'm using orange, teal blue, white, and blending it. Orange, yes, to just give it a different tone, otherwise it would look very plain in one color. So essentially the base is light color, that is why white, and the tone of the box is in blue, and to give it a little different shade here and there, I am using orange. So that's the whole idea. So once you complete the entire box like that, you can let it for drying, and now we'll be doing the distressing. So I'm using angular brush for that. Before that I'll do the stenciling also. So I'll be using 2-3 colors again for the stenciling. This is orange and a little bit of brown, because darker color gives a little highlight to the thing. It's a dark brown, or you can use black also if you want. So stencil brush I'm going to use, and this is the stencil which I'm planning to use. So very lightly, just here and there, because the surface itself is very small, so I'm not using too much of stenciling, because otherwise it would look too cluttered. I want to highlight the design. So just a little bit of here and there, just to tone down the brightness also you can use it. So yes, newspaper you have to use, because if you use too much of wet color in your brush, then it will seep through the stencil and the color will bleed, so it will get merged and it will not give a good effect. So just to avoid that, first you have to make sure that you take out the excess wetness or excess water in the color by wiping it twice or thrice on the newspaper, so that the newspaper absorbs the excess water. And after that you can once you're sure that it is almost like matte finish left in your brush, then you can do it on the surface. So I'm just giving random touches here and there using the orange and the brown which I have chosen. Very light one, distressed kind of stenciling, not like full-fledged color loaded on my brush. And once this is done, then I will be doing the distressing. So like you can see, what kind of brush you are using, what kind of texture you want, what kind of effect you are creating. Like for stenciling, the stencil brush is different. If you use normal brush, you might not get the same effect. If you're doing distressing, I use usually angular brush. It is very easy for me to use angular brush. This is the angular brush. It's like not the straight brush. And I have protective cover, the plastic sheet below on my surface. That is why I'm directly doing it. But if you're not having that, then you should use newspaper, or you can use on the palette itself. But the best way to work out is to use a plastic sheet. So at one corner there is color, the other corner has a little water. So when you spread it, when you use this, you have to even out the color and make sure the color is only on the one side and the other side is just wet with water. So when you are doing the distressing, it will automatically spread and not give a straight line, like bold straight line. It will give a faded kind of effect, and that is what we want. That is what is called distressing. So for distressing, I use angular brush. For stenciling, stencil brush is used. For creating the texture or the base coating or the blending, I use sponge, and I can also use brush. So whichever way you are comfortable, you can try that. So I'm doing on the top edge, on the bottom edge, and on the cover, the lid of the box. Yes, so I think I'm so sorry guys, I'm going off the camera because I have to keep it very close to me, and I guess it is not being captured properly. I'll make sure next time it doesn't happen. Sorry, just avoid it this time. I hope you understand the technique. So these things are usually done in all of my projects wherever I do crafting or painting, so maybe you can check out other videos as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe my video so that you keep getting more and more techniques, and keep practicing them also. Yeah, let me try to do it here. So like you can see, it keeps fading out itself. It's not like on the top also, you can see I've almost completed on the top. It's like a faded one. It's not like a straight line which I'm trying to draw with the brown color. And it dries very fast because it's acrylic color, and the color is very less, and the water is also very less. It's like stretching it just with minimum color in your brush. Don't load your brush with too much of color. So this is almost done. Now I'm just going to cover it using the acrylic the varnish. So I use Ecuador varnish for doing this final touch, and it comes in glossy and matte finish. I'm using the matte one. You can use glossy if you like the shiny surface, and you can use, so it's a big bottle. I've just taken it out in the small bottle, just because if you keep opening the bigger one all the time, it might just dry up and it is difficult to handle and store. So I keep taking out little quantity in this small bottle. So it's Asian Paints, any hardware shop you'll get it, Ecuador varnish. It comes in gloss and matte. This one is matte, so it doesn't give very shiny effect to your project, but it will still seal it. So now if little bit of water falls down on top of the box or something, it won't spoil the painting, it won't spoil the box will not absorb the paint as such. So here we are. I hope you enjoyed doing it with me. Here's the complete look. Do not forget to like and subscribe my channel. See you again next time. Thank you. Bye bye.